Good morning, everybody. Karen Brook here with you for another chapter of our reading. This is Bob Proctor. Today's chapter is all about looking at things through a different lens, changing your perspective on your environment. So I hope you really enjoy it. It might trigger a little bit, but that's a good thing. So let's get straight into it. It's called Awareness and Room of Mirrors. The other day I was speaking with a dear friend who was sharing her situation with me. It wasn't exactly pleasant. Her husband was very unhappy, critical of everyone and almost everything. He didn't want to go anywhere or do anything. She explained, he acts as if everyone and everything is against him. The lady's description of her husband reminds me of something that I read years ago about the person whose mind was like a room of mirrored walls. It wouldn't matter which way he looked, all he was ever able to see was himself and his situation. He would not be able to invoke the law of relativity. Not being able to compare his life with most of the world's population, he would never know by comparison that he was living much like Solomon in all his splendor and glory. Actually, this man's down-and-out attitude was caused by thinking only of himself. Most, if not all, of his problems would be solved if he replaced the mirrored walls of his mind with windows. Then he would see what an absolutely fascinating world we live in, full of color, interesting people, and opportunity. There would be so many challenging things to do and places to go that he would forever be scrambling for time. When an individual is super sensitive, jumps at conclusions, and allows themselves to be negative, they are showing their immaturity. By replacing the mirrors with windows, this high level of sensitivity can be converted into awareness, and negative impressions made to serve as a stimulus for creative thought. This in turn will lead to happiness, peace of mind, and a fulfilled life. Isn't that a beautiful little reminder of how to look at the world and to not just think of your own self, or if you're in a situation like that, to be able to see what could be going on for the other person. And it really reminds us to look through windows and to have perspective and perception on the world and how you're creating and living in it. Another thing here that's really powerful in terms of a habit that you can back this up with is gratitude. Focusing on gratitude every day and feeling grateful, but not just as a passing thought, like actively sit down and do it. Do the gratitude practice. If you would like some tips on what that looks like, just comment on this video and we'll get you a great gratitude practice link that you can follow and do as a habit. So I would highly recommend that. The other thing that I'd recommend is practicing having, really looking around your life, your days, your house, and looking at all the things that you have and making like a stock take of it. That's really beneficial as well in noticing how abundant and prosperous and what an incredible life you already have, despite the fact that you might want more, and it's okay to want more, and you should, of course, always be growing and allowing yourself more of the things that you want. But the way in which you actually do that is to notice what you already have. And people forget that so often. They're wanting more out of a mindset of lack, when you want to have more and you attract more by already having a mindset of prosperity, and you can do that in your environment right now. So I highly recommend that you do that. I'll finish off today's chapter with a few little quotes that go with this. James Allen: the greatest discovery of my generation is that a person can change his future by merely changing his attitude. The Dalai Lama: in order to carry a positive action, we must develop here a positive vision. And William James: to be conscious means not simply to be, but to be reported, known, to have an awareness of one's being added to that being. So just such a beautiful chapter, such a great reminder. And I hope that maybe if you find yourself in a situation like this also gives you perspective. Of course, you can't change another person. They can only change when they want to change for themselves, but it certainly can give you some perspective of what might be going on for that person, and a great reminder for your own self to always open those windows and really look upon the world with perspective, and to focus on gratitude and what you already have. And from that place of a prosperous, abundant, rich mind, you put yourself in a position to attract a hell of a lot more into your life the effortless way. I love to teach you about this. I love to help you really create that mindset of having and of abundance and prosperity so that you can attract more easily into your life. As always, if you would like my help with this, please go to my website, karenbrook.com.au, check out the programs on offer, and I hope to see you in one very soon. Take care and have a great day.